Assalamu alaikum. Please turn off all your cell phones. Quiet them down until after Jumah, please. Thank you.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة. حي على الصلاة. حي على الفلاح. حي على الفلاح. الله أكبر، الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله.
Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin, nasta'inuhu wa nastaghfiruhu wa nubhilu bihi azza wa jalla. Nashhadu an la ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lah wa nashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluhu sallallahu alayhi wa sallam wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in, amma ba'd. And we offer this translation. Alhamdulillah, all the praise, all the credit belongs to Allah. Rabb, God and evolver, cherisher and sustainer of all the systems of knowledge. Alameen. We seek him for assistance, and we ask for his forgiveness, and we put our trust in him. He that is almighty and sublime. We witness that there is no deity, no God, except Allah, one alone, with no partners with him, and we witness that Muhammad is his servant and his messenger. The prayers and peace be upon him and upon his family and companions, all of them, and what follows of that excellent salutation. As always, we do not have, is not a requirement to give any kind of topic, but whoever gives Jumah, it shouldn't be just preaching, it should be an opportunity to teach, to instruct. And actually, if our desire is earnest and sincere, we should get some benefit also. That's the one doing the speaking. So we have chosen the topic what we'll be focusing on. It's called keeping our life alive and keeping our faith in Allah. Keeping our life alive and keeping our faith in Allah. And by way of summary, the first part, keeping our life alive, we're saying that what's going on in our society, in the world, we find many people are living a life, but it's not a life that is condoned and planned by God. So we really are in a situation, very serious situation, if we're going to maintain our life as it should be. Then in the second part, keeping our faith in Allah, we're offering, which many of us are aware of, solutions. And one of the solutions that we should, one thing is being a Muslim, but we should try to be a believer. And a believer is one that puts their complete trust in the hands of our God. So that's kind of summary. So the first part, keeping our faith, keeping our life alive. First, we should try to stay among the living, we have here. So let us not be among those who walk the streets, drooping, laughing themselves into insanity, killing, and hurting people. They are the lost people. We need the living to walk the streets with them and not be with them in their life. You know, we see a lot of crowds and so forth out in the street, people cutting up. Well, we should be out there too. Let them know that we also have decent people here. So they will see that there's a living man, a living woman, a living boy or girl still around walking the streets. We need to make our presence felt in this world of the dead. I'm using that term dead. Those of us remember the Nation of Islam. You know, when we used to bring guests, we would say we're bringing in the dead. And so I'm going to be referring to that. So we should keep our life alive and we should make our presence felt in this world of the dead. Now, what do we mean by the dead? We're speaking about we're living in a culture of death. You know, in religion, especially in the Bible and the church, when they sin, they call sin death. In many religious scriptures, they call sin death. Not a physical death, but the death of a good conscience. When good conscience dies, and we don't care how we think, whether we think morally or not, when we don't care, we don't give much importance to the moral life. In fact, we become very abusive toward the moral life. We corrupt the moral life, and that becomes our pleasure, just living a life of corruption. Corrupting the moral life of the society or contributing to the corruption of the moral life of society. That's death, when you are contributing to the corruption of the society. So we don't want our behavior put us among the dead. Don't let our behavior take us from the living. Let our behavior be seen in the behavior of those who care. So we should care. Have not given up hope. Those who still strive upon their own good principles. Those who still wait on the favors of Allah, though they deem to be far away, we keep our faith and we wait for the favors of Allah. The next section I'm going to be discussing, every human being created is Allah's servant. Every human being created is Allah's servant. We praise Allah. We witness that He is one and He needs no helpers. Allah is the one responsible for, cares for, and keeps His creation. This is from the Surah Maryam, which is 19, and Ayat 93. The word Ayat, of course, means signs. It says, certainly everyone who is in the heavens and the earth is coming before Allah, the merciful benefactor, as a servant. The highest position that Allah has given his human creation is the position of servant. Some of us take great pride in working for a big popular company, or we take pride that we're the CEO. Well, a servant of Allah should sense even more honor, more pride, more value if we are really a servant of Allah. And remember, every human being created is Allah's servant. Allah says, when I breathe into man my spirit, we call it the ruh. When I breathe into man my spirit or my influence, then he is qualified to be a custodian in the earth under Allah. The servant is a custodian under Allah in the earth. He's responsible for the land, human beings. Responsible for the water, human beings. Responsible for production and everything. So somebody can say, look at that Khalifa. Look at that Abdullah. Look at that manager that Allah created. But when the shaitan or Satan or the devil breathes or influences into man his schemes, the results of alcoholism, gambling, smoking addiction, drug addiction, lying, cheating, and especially the most significant that the devil's trying to do is break up the family. Break up the family. And we believe that the scheme of breaking up the family is what all other schemes of Satan come under or evolve from. So it's very significant. So we go to the different stores, CVS, 7-Eleven, Walmart. A lot of those have been created to serve the family, as well as eating institutions, etc. So one of the main focuses, and we have different hadiths that speak about the ones that would come to Satan and mention the different things that they were able to accomplish. But the one that said, I broke up the family, that one, Satan said, had done what he should. Now, what is it, Satan? In Quran, in the Arabic, they say, they say shaitan. And also we say Satan, and we say devil. Devil mean a doer of evil. It starts as a jinn, and we all have jinn with us. Jinn, a spirit, a jinn. But this jinn, 3 qualifications, and when we read the Quran, we can see these qualifications and make sure we don't express or reflect these qualifications. First thing it mentions in the Quran that Satan refuses to submit or obey God. First thing, Satan, which makes him qualified as Satan, is that he refuses to submit or obey Creator. It says it in the Quran, refuse. Second thing, he personifies arrogance. So one of the qualities of a believer is we're not arrogant. We don't act like we know it all. Even we're aware of it. Even we're knowledgeable of it. And then the last one is he rejects faith. He rejects faith. And we believe all human beings have the concept of faith within their soul. And we believe that all of us, you have to deposit that faith somewhere. Somebody say, well, I don't have faith in anything. And then sometimes we tell that person, well, let us follow you for a week. Let us put the camera on you for a week, and we'll let you know what you have your faith in. The next section we're going to talk about is we're living in very serious times. I don't think that's no new revelation interview. We can't cover it as a revelation. Probably some of our children are aware of that too. In the Bible, the last book in the Old Testament is called Malachi. Malachi, the 4th chapter and the 5th verse, it says that we're in the great and dreadful day of the Lord. Same thing now in the Bible, in the book called Isaiah, chapter 45, verse 24. It says, every knee shall bow and every tongue shall confess. And we also have in the Quran, in Al-Fatiha, that we have to recite no matter what rak'ah we're in, whether it's in the first rak'ah or the 4th rak'ah. We have to recite Al-Fatiha. Now we know certain ones we add another surah of the Quran, but we got to recite Al-Fatiha. And in Al-Fatiha, which is chapter 1, Al-Fatiha, the opening, and verse 3, ayat 3, it says, Allah says, the sole judge, Master Maliki Yawmiddin, the sole judge on the day of religion or the day of judgment. The day of judgment. What is judgment? Judgment comes from a word, it says deen. We translate it from deen, and deen, just like in English you have where the words come from. Deen comes from dana, and dana means to repay the debt. So what we're doing in our practice in the religion, we're repaying the debt. Repaying the debt for what? That you can see, that you can walk, that you can talk, that you can peep, that you can speak, that you can think, etc., etc., which we did not earn is from the mercy of God. So the day of debt, repay the debt. Now, this is a masjid we're in. Masjid, place where you make sajda. All right? That also tells us something else. One of the most important positions in salat is sajda, because we also make qiyam. It's not called a place where we make qiyam. We also make ruku'. It's not called a place where we make ruku'. We also make jalsa. But it's called a place where you make sajda. So that shows you the insignificance, symbolically, of that position when you put your intellect, the thing that makes you a human being, in symbolically bowing your will. So we're now in the masjid, place where we make sajda, that was built by humans. This was built by humans. And Prophet Muhammad, praise and peace of Allah be upon him, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Prophet Muhammad said, the whole earth is Allah's masjid. Al-Aradu, earth, masjidullah. The earth is God's masjid. So what does this mean? Now, what does this mean for? This means when we bump into each other, we may not, we bump into each other at Exxon, I see you at Exxon, I see you at Walmart, I see you at Safeway, I see you at Jack, I see you on your job, that we should be conducting our same way. We shouldn't put on airs when we come to the masjid. We be respectful, we be kind, we considerate, etc. So that's what it's saying. The whole earth is Allah's masjid. So it says here, the day of judgment, we have to answer. We have to repay the debt to the creator of everything, who we can also call Al-Khaliq Kulli Shay. He is the creator of everything. We have to answer, we have to repay to our debt to that. And now, what are we paying the creator for? Now I'm calling God the creator. What are we paying the creator for? For the brain, for the mind, for the body, for the life, for all of our achievements. The day for answering and repaying our debt. Now what does God want from us? Nothing. Not a thing. Nothing is short form of not a thing. Our acknowledgement, our rituals, our behavior, our performance benefits ourselves. So all we get ready to do is not benefiting God, it's benefiting ourselves. The kindness, etc. When we conduct it ourselves, it doesn't benefit God, it doesn't make him a greater God, it benefits us. I repeat. So our acknowledgement, our rituals, our behavior, our performance benefits ourselves. That's why one of the attributes of Allah is the merciful benefactor. And this is before every surah of the Quran except 9, and some scholars say because of the content of 9. Before every surah in the Quran, Bismillahir-Rahmanir-Rahim, the merciful benefactor. So everything is done. What is this saying? It's saying that everything, whether you're conscious or not, that Allah has given you, it is a benefit. Now, if you're aware of it's a benefit, and then you misuse it, then it's also Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, the merciful redeemer, which is another form of forgiveness. Now, on one hand, this world that we're living in, is making great strides materially and technologically. Now, I'm doing a lot of reading here, and I said I'm going to see if y'all can take some of that money y'all want to build and get us a teleprompter. That's the new, right? We see they come and speak to us, and they read the teleprompter. But we have some other things here. Are you aware that now they're implanting microchips in our bodies? This is in Sweden. He says, this is showing you got a crowd there. He's implanting a microchip in the body. And they're talking about maybe doing something like that, especially for the passports. So that we'll have so much literature and so forth. That's one form. Then we also have here, it says 10 million self-driving cars will be on the road by 2020. That's what they're predicting. And this is 2017. 10 million self-driving cars will be on the road by 2020. And I'm sure, I don't know if you know about that. I'm not necessarily promoting this there. But I don't go to a lot of the retail stores now because of Amazon. Amazon putting a lot of the retail jobs. Many stores are closing. Many established retail because of Amazon. So what we're saying is, this is just support I'm giving, is that we are living in a world that's making great strides materially. You hear why we thought Jumah. You know we must be in the 21st century if we got to start Jumah before he called the adhan. He has to say, please close or turn off your cell phones. Please silence your cell phones. Yes. So on the one hand, this world is making great strides, materially, technologically. But on the other hand, this world is failing our moral life. In one focus, we see the highest leaders in America and the richest corporate establishments being brought to justice. However, in another focus, we see public life and the street crowds going down in a cesspool of moral ruin. The public life is in hell. The public scene is wild. And what do we mean by wild? What does that mean? Wild. It means the think of it wild doesn't leave any chance for you to think of an authority to govern your life but yourself. In the Nation of Islam, we used to have this. This is one of the questions we used to have to learn. And one of this is, Nation of Islam now, it was, and this place you're in now, we used to be, if you go outside, when you go outside, and you go down the left side, and there is a cornerstone, and it said, built in 1961 by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. So now we've moved on, but there's still lessons that we learn. And in the Nation of Islam, one of the questions was, what is the duty of a civilized person? Now, we were writing this in Arabic. We would say person. We would use the word nefs, soul. What is the duty of a civilized person? Didn't say people, person. Just say the person to do this. And the answer was to teach the uncivilized, who are savage, civilization, righteousness, the knowledge of self, the science of everything in life, love, peace, and happiness. So it says here, it says, to teach the uncivilized who are savage. Now don't get any physical picture in your mind of savage. It says here, the dictionary says, savage acting is the result of respecting no authority over your life. Savage is a result of you not respecting any authority over your life. What does that mean? Do whatever you want to do. That's the kind of world we're living in. Pope John Paul II said, Americans are in a culture of death. Now, the first part of the khutbah, remember we mentioned, when we say death, we're not talking about physical death. We're talking about where when you have your moral life has gone through corruption. In our culture, we find more pornographic materials, more immoral freaks, more rape, more adultery, more lying, more stealing, more ethnic hatred. Our society breeds enmity between male and female, between children and parents, between nations, as well as between humanity and nature. The public life values showbiz, sensationalism, money, fancy cars, rich houses to live in. They have lost human values. So we live a very serious time, and especially those of us that are parents. Really, I caution you, make sure, especially if they're in public school, maybe charter school too, maybe Catholic school too, maybe you're doing homeschooling. Go sometime, you don't have to make any scene with your child there in public school and stay a day with them. No, don't stay an hour. No, don't stay 3 hours. Stay a full day and observe. Yes. So this is the public life. The public life. The public life. Then I have here next a few comments on what is religion. Our prophet, praise and peace of Allah be upon him, in Arabic is sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, religion is sincerity. Ad-dinu an-nasihatu. Not hypocrisy, not showtime. Religion is sincerity. So when you find a person, they're not Muslim. It's just another person. We're aware of their religious attachment. And we find they're sincere, that's something that we can gravitate to and we can work with. The dictionary says religion is an organized system of beliefs and rituals centered on the supernatural being or beings adherence to such a system, following such a system. Now, to some extent, depending on what context I'm using this word, Islam is not a religion in a certain context. Islam is a description of creation's nature. Islam is a description of creation's nature. The sun, the moon, the stars, the earth, all animals in land, in water. Humans are Muslim. Another name for a human, in fact, is Muslim. We conclude the first part with dealing with this. This is the topic we're going to be dealing with. We are forced, if you're trying to be a decent person, we are forced to take seriously, very seriously, our identity as human, our identity as human being, our identity as a part of a human family. We must consider life as the final battlefield. And we have a book downstairs, I think we have in our bookstore, by Imam W.D. Muhammad. It says life, the final battlefield. The final battlefield. So all of the things that we are facing and all the challenges we have in life, the most important thing is holding on to life as it is formed, as it is meant for the Creator. The Creator is over your life. So if you're going to have a life that's correct, then you should obey and follow the dictates of the Creator that is over you. The urgency is to stop trying to live on our own. So that's one of the first things we find out as believers, as Muslims. I'm hearing that with you. I can't dress any kind of way I want. I can't say anything I want to say. There's a certain way, a code of conduct that I should conduct myself if I say I'm a believer. We have to live with an intelligence of religious teaching that's overruling, governing our intelligence. That can be deceived, the intelligence. We have to keep an authority over our minds. Our minds are not supposed to be on their own. Our minds are supposed to be under Allah's light. And what is that? The logic of the Quran. The prescription, many of us participated in, Ramadan. We're not that far away. We're now in the third month away. And next month will be Hajj. Dhul Qiyada. So the prescription for Ramadan is this. What is the prescription? We now believe, as a result of Eid, as a result of us doing two activities, that is fasting during the daylight hours. Now, by the way, even if we don't speak on this, all the rituals we have, there is a meaning for them. Religious expression requires a social context. What does that mean? It means that the rituals we have, that's religious expression. If I show you a picture of someone and they're in posture, they're in sajda, I'll show you a picture of someone, they might be like this. I'll show you a picture of someone doing like that. Then that's their ritual that they do. But it means nothing if they don't know how to apply that ritual in their regular life. And this is what many of the children want to know. Why you do this? Why you put your hand here? Why you put your hand there? Why do you bow? Huh? Why do you put your foot, etc., etc.? So even we don't know these. So another thing about the rituals contain and hold knowledge. So that's why we do the rituals. You might not know the knowledge, but if you stay adherent to the rituals, you'll be safe. But now and then we have those that come and we can get the knowledge, how to apply it. So religious expression, the ritual, requires a social context. Social context, how we're to do it in a society of human beings. So what is life? We're going to name different things. Life, human life. What is this? It is a gift. It's a loan. It's a trust. It's a mercy from the Creator of human life. I can remember being with the man, we were in Duke University. And when he said something, I said, oh Lord, what is it? He said, and this was a class, well, it really was in the auditorium, and they were all, this was popular, world religions. It was a class. So they were studying world religion. He said, whatever you are, don't be a hypocrite. Don't be a hypocrite to the logic of al-Islam. The logic of al-Islam. Now you might not want to be a Muslim or follow the rituals, but don't be a hypocrite to the logic of al-Islam. I repeat to you again that life is a gift, a loan, a trust, and mercy from the Creator of human life. That makes sense. Number one, we mentioned trust. all humans have a certain amount of limited free will. To carry out our own will, our own likes, our own desires, our own plans, our own goals, our own ambitions, we have to be advised by the creator of life. And I'm using term from the secular world now, I could say that, and that the creator of human life, in his advice column, he said, don't say you're going to do it unless you say, inshallah. Now that's his advice. He's the one who created human life. Don't say you're going to go do such and such unless you say, inshallah, it will be the will of Allah. The challenge, therefore, based on that, the challenge is to match our suspect will. I can't guarantee you the next hour, the next 5 hours, I can't guarantee you where I'm going to be, what I'm going to be doing, etc. So our will is suspect. We base it on certain things we've come in contact with, common sense. So we have here that our will, and I use different synonyms with that, our will, our likes, our desires, our plans, our goals, our ambitions, we're advised to say inshallah. So the challenge is to match our will to our Creator's perfect, destined, going to happen will. God's will is going to happen. It is guaranteed. But our will is not. So the challenge in life, as we use our life, is to match our will with God's will. Yes. Now this life is also a gift. The root of gift is give. So it means to give. We didn't earn seeing. We didn't earn smelling. We didn't earn tasting. We didn't earn hearing, the 5 senses. We didn't earn feeling. But we have received these gifts. We are conscious of them. So it's a gift. Also, life is a loan. And we get that from the word deen, that I told you, dayman, means we will have to repay their debt for all the mercies that we have received. In the Quran again, Surah 3, Al-Imran, Ayah 185, it says, every soul, look at the words they use, every soul will have a taste of death. So just say, let's marinate on that a little bit. A taste of death. You know how you eat? It comes in one form when it hits the mouth, and then after you do whatever is necessary, then you digest, and then it goes, some will have its waste, some will becomes nutrients, etc. But it says everybody here, every soul, every nafs will have a taste of death. So we have that as we are forced in these times to take seriously. So now what is this world's logic? Remember, we're from this is the subtopic I'm using. That we are forced, if you're trying to be a decent person, you're forced to take seriously, very seriously, our identity as a human being. Forced meaning, how are you going to manage and maintain your status as a human being believing in God? So what is this world's logic? It's very clear. No authority, no accountability, no responsibility. Don't mean to say nothing to the millennials. Right, that's the name this world is given, right? So you can tell from me and the way I'm talking, I'm from that group, what is that? We came in 45 and went out in 65. Right. Gave us a name also. But that's this world's logic. This world's logic. So in other words, while you're doing certain things, is you don't feel no authority, no accountability, no responsibility. Now let's look at something in the Bible again. Remember we said religious expression requires a social context. So now we're going to talk about Noah's Ark, which many people know. They even made a movie about it. They had a little humor to it. Noah's Ark. Prophet Noah, we know the ark was the big boat that saved all the people that were fit to be saved. Now, that's very important. The ark was a big boat that saved all the people that were fit to be saved. When the world was covered by a great flood, a flood that covered the whole earth. No place for people to live except on that boat. Picture that now. No place for people to live except on that boat and every type of animal. The days of Prophet Noah are here now. The boat, what is the boat? The boat is the religious teachings that some hold on to. The boat is the religious teachings that some don't need. They stay with those religious teachings. And just as clean and smelling You know, when you think about the ark and all those animals, look like they would have to go to the bathroom. Look like that place could be smelling. No, none of that is happening. These are decent people. So it is true in the scripture that as it was in the days of Noah, that time is going to come again, and it is here. And guess what? The boat that is only for those people that is fit to be saved is bigger than ever, and the drowning victims are greater than ever. The boat is those people that are following the religious scriptures, the religious teachings, the sound basically. And I'm not just speaking to Muslims. I'm speaking to all religious people. The public, the society is dead. They need to get back to the purity of our religions. The public needs to get back to the purity of their religion that was established by the church, that was established by the masajid, plural for mosque, that was established by the synagogue, the sense of decency that used to prevail. The works that influence corruption are not the works of good people. And you know, I can't speak for you. I have a job, teacher at a charter school, and say, well, they make fun of you when you try to do right. Let me give you this symbol. Let me give you this example. So we were having, at the school, it was dinner. It was, we were having, it might have been Thanksgiving celebration, whatever. And so, you know, the families came and they were eating, and then the staff came up at time to eat. So I was in line, and then I saw there was some sisters behind me, so I stepped at the end of the line. So this lady, she just happened to be sitting next to me, and she's, you know, one of my fellow faculty members. She said, Salim, he almost didn't get a chance to eat trying to be a man. You know what I said? I looked at her, no smile, I am a man. I got her drift, right? So you have all these encounters in the world, so expect that. But be prepared how you want to respond. Be prepared. So again, as we said, the public, the society, and the dead, which we defined at the beginning, dead to their moral compass, right? The sense of decency that used to prevail, the works that influence corruption, are not the works of good people. No one would have a plan to corrupt the society but a devil. No one would have a plan to corrupt the public but a devil. But we go on with this footnote. Allah made us all too strong for Satan. He has no power. Reading the Quran about Satan, he just invites you. The commercials we see on TV, the things we see on Instagram, etc., etc. He just invites you, and we respond to his invitation. So let us as believers strike up strong friendships and love with other good persons to use our muscles of moral, sacred, and natural human life. Alhamdulillah. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. With Allah's name, the merciful benefactor, the merciful redeemer. We have to recite Al-Fatiha. All it does, it defines for us God. Maliki Yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdina sirata. All right. So this last half we're titling. Now you know we live in a language environment. So get a tape, check out the language, look it up. And this particular time we're going to the title is the sincerity of our worship. Remember now, the prophet responded that religion is sincerity. No hypocrisy, no showtime. The sincerity of our worship determines the form of our thoughts and the nature of our deeds. The sincerity of our worship determines the form of our thoughts and the nature of our deeds. In the Quran, Surah 40, it's called El-Mu'min, which means the believer, singular. Then there's a Surah 23, and it has 118 ayats. It's called El-Mu'minun, the believers. So that was that important. They had one for the believers, singular, and one for the believers, plural. The believer is one who puts absolute trust in Allah. These are the ingredients for our salvation. These are the ingredients for our salvation if we're a believer. Now, is there a question for some of you? Now, I'll just confront you and say, I'm a believer. Some of us don't want to admit that. And so that means now, when we look at my conduct, when we look at my actions, they're such. And we also always seek forgiveness from Allah. Are you a believer? Do you qualify as a believer? And when they say just Muslim, obeying the 5 principles, are you a believer? Believer, when the word they use in Arabic, believe, it means the one who puts their faith, which we believe all human beings have the concept of faith in God, in Allah. The believer is the one who puts absolute trust in Allah. And the ingredients for our salvation are the following. To obey, the willingness to obey. The willingness to obey. Not force, not pressure. It says that in Ramadan, that you're not to be forcing. You're giving yourself willingly. It's okay to eat. It's okay to eat. But you, on your own volition, you're not eating the month of Ramadan. The willingness. An innocent heart. A mind that is not proud, but humble. A willingness to bow down with those who worship Allah, and a proper fear of Allah. The human heart knows many different fears, but all of them should be dominated by the fear of Allah, which He created within us. Our fears of physical danger, the unknown, and everything else should be dominated by Allah. Fear which comes from devotion to our duty to Allah and from our desire never to displease Allah is called taqwa, which it says we're supposed to try to achieve in Ramadan. Self-restraint, taqwa, God consciousness. Among the essential elements of taqwa are firmness and enthusiastic patience in following the will of God, and obeying the will of God. Taqwa comes from a motivation to obey Allah, and Allah is His constant object. It signifies that nothing should ever become so strong in our consciousness that it blocks our recognition of Allah's power, of Allah's authority over us. Taqwa is the best fear because it is a conscious fear. Sometimes we get interviews and they'll say, well, you're a Muslim also, the one interviewing, but I'm a conscious Muslim. But you're also a Muslim, but I'm a conscious Muslim. And I show that by when I make salat or my performance of prayer, I put my forehead on the ground. That signifies my intellect, the highest being. Believers strive to make their lives conform to what Allah has revealed because they are conscious of what Allah wants them to do and what Allah wants them to avoid. Taqwa also describes a form of love for Allah, which prompts believers to exercise self-restraint and to avoid involvement in any form of sin, wrongdoing, or injustice. Again, I remember speaking to an audience. There were times it really changed. One time we didn't have women senators. One time we didn't have women police. Things have changed. And so we were speaking to this group of the Wives Club of the senators, and it was, we say interfaith. We used to say interreligious, now we say interfaith, because we realized with all those structures, it is about faith. And there was a priest, and there was a rabbi, etc. And the person said, we never use the word sin. Do Muslims sin? And so I told her, I said, I don't know if you're trying to be, I don't know if you're trying to make fun of me, or you want me to say something. Of course I sin. Or maybe you saw me last week somewhere. You have been preaching now, but you have to be real, right? So I told her that I didn't use sin. One reason I didn't use sin is because if I say sin, you're going to start thinking about the original sin from Adam. And we don't agree with that. Let's do it with practical sense now. What does that mean? We don't believe that. That means when I come to see a newborn baby, that's not a person, that's not a human that wants to lie, wants to cheat. Right? This is an innocent baby. And now they have a play on words where they call it the kindergarten kind of God, and then the kind of God is the innocent. So I said, that's one reason. I said, but yes, now when does a Muslim sin? We sin when we know nobody knows about it, no one saw it, when we know in our heart, in our mind, it was wrong. When you know what you did, what you said, in your heart and your mind. That's the marriage now. They're married. You got 2 ears, 2 nostrils, 2 eyes, 2 eyebrows, and you got a mind and a heart. And the heart pumps blood to the mind. All right? All right. And some of you do not marry, then make sure when you get married, make sure they agree. Now you see and like the heart, but make sure it's a good move, rational. Yes, they're married. Make sure whatever you do in life, there's agreement with the heart and the mind. So, I said, so therefore, we consider sin when I know what I said, what I did, I know for a fact. Remember, religion is sincerity in my heart and my mind. So the human heart knows many different fears. So taqwa also describes a form of love for Allah which prompts believers to exercise self-restraint and avoid involvement in any kind of sin, wrongdoing, or injustice. Believers recognize the fact that they are ultimately accountable to Allah. And in the Quran, it mentions that. It mentions different, those that are going to the hereafter. It says one of the requirements, and it doesn't say Muslim or believer. It says that we have to believe in the hereafter. Why do we have to believe in the hereafter? Because we got to believe that we're going to be accountable for everything you have done. We have to believe that. You're going to be accountable. We're speaking especially now of the things that we have done that are wrong. Believers give complete devotion to Allah, meaning believers now I'm saying. Believers don't put anything above Allah in their mind or their heart. They put everything in the proper place. Again in the Quran, in Surah 22, Ayah 46, it says, do they travel through the land so that their hearts and minds may thus learn the wisdom and their ears may learn to hear? Truly is not their hearts, truly is not their eyes that are blind, but their hearts which are in their breasts. So again, religious expression requires a social context. Now how do we apply that in our life? Just as a man has eyes to give him external vision, his heart also has vision. Knowledge of the reality of a thing comes not only from what we see, but also from what we learn from the heart. The word heart symbolically means both the seat of intelligent faculties and understanding and the seat of affections and emotions. Experience has proven that when a believer's knowledge and convictions become excessive and overpowering, the believer sees things with his heart even more clearly than he sees with his eyes. Believer's faith materializes in good works, in performances that are acceptable to Allah. Faith is the essential element in Al-Islam. Faith is the first logic. To have faith is something meaning we believe or trust in. The purity of our faith depends upon our ability to keep reverence for Allah as a motivating force. What is motivating you? It is that you have faith, reverence for Allah, and it motivates you. So let believers see by faith, not by sight. So believers don't see with the eyes. Believers don't hear with the ears. Believers do not talk with the mouth. Believers do not feel with the skin. They do not smell with the nostrils. Believers see, smell, taste, and touch with the heart. And a sincere heart. And what makes a heart sincere? Purified. You have to take it through trials and tribulations. Using our God-given resources, prepared by our God-given potential toward our God-chosen destiny. Usually after Jumah, we recite this. This is a dua that we learned at the Ramadan session 2006. So we say it now as we begin to conclude. Oh Allah, I cannot manage this life. That's one of the biggest things in life, managing. You know, you have your bills, you have your responsibilities, managing your life. And I say now, to us as parents, and don't leave off the financial part. Let's show our children how to manage their emotions, how to manage their life. Very big. Oh Allah, I cannot manage this life not without you. So please make my life what you want it to be, what you prefer for me. Do not allow me to act on my own. Help me to act only in obedience to you. As-sami'na wa atoina. We hear and obey. Now we conclude with this, and some of you may be surprised. I guess the young people not, because they might know the words. You know, when did I prepare this khutbah? Now I'm speaking to other brothers that give talks. Once I knew I had this assignment, my antenna went up, anything I came in contact with. And this, I was looking at TV. I could say who the person was, but I'll just say the wife was saying about her husband. She said, he's one of the best persons I've ever met in my life. She said, she said, he is a contributor to the world. And the way she worded it, you know what I thought of? And I'm going to end up with this. I'm going to read his words. He's a genius. Now, I know a lot of you know Muhammad Ali, but some of us know Michael Jackson. Now, listen to these words. This is Michael Jackson's song, We Are the World. And I believe, don't get a tape of the khutbah, just get this and listen to his words. Michael Jackson, We Are the World. There comes a time when we heed a certain call, when the world must come together as one. There are people dying, and it's time to lend a hand to life, the greatest gift of all. We can't go on pretending day by day that someone somewhere will soon make a change. We're all part of God's great big family. And the truth we know, love is all we need. We are the world. We are the children. We are the ones who make a brighter day. So let's start giving. There's a choice we are making. We are saving our own lives. It's true we'll make a better day. Just you and me. Send them your heart so they'll know that someone cares and their lives will be stronger and free. As God has shown us by turning stone to bread. And so we all must lend a helping hand. We are the world. We are the children. We are the ones who make a brighter day. So let's start giving. There's a choice we're making. We're saving our own lives. It's true we'll make a better day. Just you and me. When you're down and out, there seems no hope at all. But you just believe. There's no way we can fall. Well. Let's realize that a change can only come when we stand together as one. Last stanza. We are the world. We are the children. We are the ones who make a brighter day. So let's start giving. There's a choice we're making. We're saving our own lives. It's true we'll make a better day. Just you and me. Akim as-salat.
Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. Hayya ala-salat. Hayya ala-salat. Qad qamat as-salat. Qad qamat as-salat. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. La ilaha illallah.
We try to keep our minds straight. Sirata mustaqim. And we try not to have any gaps between each other. Religious expression requires a social context. No hatred, no jealousy between each other. We're standing together to confront our Lord. All right, we're about to begin. Allahu Akbar.
Allahu Akbar.
Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahmanir Rahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل Wallahu ahad, Allahu samad, lam yalid, wa lam yulad, wa lam yakul lahu kufuwan ahad. Allahu
Akbar. Sami Allahu liman hamida. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar.
Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, Ar-Rahmanir Rahim, Maliki Yawmiddin,
Iyyaka na'budu
wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdina siratal mustaqim, siratal ladina an'amta alayhim, ghayril maghdubi alayhim waladdallin. Amin. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Qul a'udhu birabbin nas, malikin nas, ilahin nas, min syurri waswasil
Wasilkannas alladhi yuwaswisu fi sudurin nas min al-jinnati wan nas. Allahu Akbar. Sami Allahu liman hamida. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Assalamualaikum warahmatullah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullah.
Takbir! Takbir! Takbir!
Assalamualaikum. We have a few announcements. I want to first announce that at the community meeting this past Sunday, the community has
overwhelmingly approved for the Board of Trustees to move forward with a couple projects. One project is an MOU, a Memorandum of Understanding signed with the community builders to develop our properties at Martin Luther King 2313, 2315, and 2323 Martin Luther King Jr. Avenue Southeast. Takbir. Now this is very important, it's very significant. Since we built this edifice, those who were here then, among us now, this will be our first project of actually building from the ground up affordable homes, as well as a part B to that, a commercial edifice that will include office space as well as businesses. So this community, hats off, praise to Allah for the effort, for the courage, for the support to do what we're about to do. Secondly, the community approved for the Board of Trustees to sign off on an agreement, a loan, 1.1 to 1.5 million, using 2 to 3 of our properties, 1505, 1515, and or 1537, to levy this loan in order to move forward with the expansion of Masjid Muhammad. Takbir. Okay, now I'm publicly announcing this. It has been duly noted. It's in the records that we unanimously approve those 2 motions to do what I just said we were going to do. So alhamdulillah, we're looking forward to movement. There is movement also on our first grant that we received to ensure or secure this property. We have new lightings going up, new cameras also. Pretty soon you'll see new doors. You'll see keyless doors. So again, these are just movement. Now for some announcements. Please go downstairs and try the fish dinner, fish sandwich. I want to say this. As we're developing, there are 2 brothers. They're called Real Brothers. Right now they have license to clean and sell fresh fish in our property, 2323 Martin Luther King Jr. Avenue. Now they have a window of opportunity, perhaps 1 to 2 years until we develop. But they're licensed, the licenses are up, and they're ready to go. Now in addition to that, they're selling cooked fish. We had some of this cooked fish today. The line was long when I went out there, so come on, go downstairs, let's start supporting ourselves. All right, Community Appreciation Day. We're still trying to find a date, but September 17th is the date for that. Just a few more announcements. And you can read the bulletin. There are a lot of weekend activities. Commuter training class tomorrow. The New Africa Global Initiative flea market is tomorrow. Boy Scouts are meeting today. A number of activities. Please get engaged in them. Now, if you work for DC government, don't forget the DC-1 fund. Code 9030. So you can give as you're making money. Right? Okay, 9030, the DC-1 fund. So again, look at your bulletin. There's a number of announcements there, but we want to make sure that we just cover some of the basics of what we have done in the past week. Don't forget Imam W. Muhammad Tafsir weekly study class on Wednesday. Don't forget the call-in Islamic studies on Sundays. So these are things that we deem important for us, our growth, and hope and pray that everyone can tune in. So thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum.
I'm going to have to do it again. Let me, inshallah, try to get it. Let me try to get it.